Senator Britt here. I just introduced the Moms Act in the U.S. Senate, and I wanted to share some quick thoughts with you. This legislation is especially important for Alabama because our state is in critical need of a strengthened support system for moms. Over a third of our state's 67 counties are classified as maternal care deserts, and Alabama has the highest maternal mortality rate in the entire nation. The status quo is totally unacceptable, and I'm not going to stop working in this arena to advance meaningful solutions. And that's why I am leading the Moms Act. And it's why I've helped introduce multiple bipartisan pieces of legislation aimed at addressing the maternal care crisis. So whether it's the Rural Obstetrics Readiness Act with Senator Maggie Hassan, or the NIH Improve Act with Senator LaFonza Butler, one of my top priorities is supporting children, mothers, and families across our nation. For more information, please visit my website, britt.senate.gov, and follow along on our social media channels as we work to support moms across Alabama and America. God bless.
You know, there's something to be said about how good these people are at optics, right? She puts up this video, Britt, and she has the nice breathy voice about how concerned she is with the Alabama mortality rate and her bipartisan legislation. But when you watch a video like that, you don't really get an idea of what's actually in this bill that she's trying to have passed. They don't really talk about what's wrong with it. And thankfully, The Guardian has taken care of that for me. Katie Britt, the Republican U.S. Senator from Alabama, best known for delivering a widely ridiculed State of the Union speech in March, marked the run-up to Mother's Day on Sunday by introducing a bill to create a federal database to collect data on pregnant people. The More Opportunities for Moms to Succeed, Moms Act, proposes to establish an online government database called pregnancy.gov, listing resources related to pregnancy, including information about adoption agencies and pregnancy care providers, except for those that provide abortion-related services. The bill specifically forbids any entity that performs, induces, refers for, or counsels in favor of abortions from being listed on the database, which would in effect eliminate swaths of OBGYN services and health clinics across the country. The website would direct users to enter their personal data and contact information, and although Britt's communications director said the site would not collect data on pregnant people, page 3 of the bill states that users can take any assessment through the website and provide consent to use the user's contact information, which government officials may use to conduct outreach via phone or email to follow up with users on additional resources that would be helpful for the users to review. So caught in the lie. First, she says, "Oh no," her communications director, "the site isn't collecting data on pregnant people," and then page 3 mentions that it takes an assessment and provides consent to you that the site collects your information. Britt introduced the legislation on Thursday alongside two co-sponsors, fellow Republican Senators Marco Rubio and Kevin Kramer. So much for bipartisanship, like she was talking about in that video. In a statement, Britt said the bill was proof that you can absolutely be pro-life, pro-woman, and pro-family at the same time, adding that the legislation advances a comprehensive culture of life for mothers and children to live their American dreams. Critics have noted that the database of pregnancy support centers would provide misleading information in an attempt to dissuade women from seeking abortions. Axios note that the bill would also provide grants to anti-abortion nonprofit organizations. The state of Alabama, which Britt represents, already has one of the strictest abortion bans in the country. After U.S. Supreme Court eliminated federal abortion rights by overturning Roe v. Wade, the state banned abortion except in cases where there is a serious health risk to the mother. Britt's party is in the minority in the U.S. Senate and has only a slim majority in the House. Her bill would need to be approved by both chambers and then be signed by Democratic President Joe Biden to become law, giving her proposal virtually no chance of making meaningful progress in the legislative process as is. So this bill is basically just her trying to grandstand about an issue that she, wants people to think she cares about. Again, I played the video at the start because I wanted you to see how when these people talk, they make themselves sound so compassionate. Alabama's needs to stop having this horrible, very high mortality rate for its mothers. Okay, are you going to propose some kind of federal funding for healthcare and services related to, allowing them to be able to live more healthy lives? No, still the same old you know festivities about abortion rights. And notice how, again, in that video she goes, "Oh, I've sponsored bipartisan legislation." This is not bipartisan at all. This is a data collecting pro-abortion site that you want to receive government funding to continue to peddle your narrative about the evils of getting rid of kids you don't want. And again, if she was honest about it, I could say, you know what, I don't support this bill, but at least she's transparent. Can't even tell the truth about the site collecting your data. Can't even admit, like, yeah, when you go to because sites do all the time, they collect data, you consent to it. Won't even admit that's the case. Oh no, we're just going to make this site that people who might do something we would absolutely despise will use, and their data is not being collected for any purpose that would possibly come back to haunt them or be part of a revenge tactic to get back at them for doing something we don't agree with. Yeah, definitely not. God. Pregnancy.gov. See, if you wanted to make a site like that and even call yourself being balanced, you would have it to where that site would show pro abortion resources and anti-abortion ones. So, like, you would have adoption centers, right? But then you would also have, you want this procedure done, here's Planned Parenthood. Just something that would come across more as, this is a serious topic that needs to be addressed by the federal government. Sometimes these expecting mothers don't do things we like or what we would prefer them to do, but whether they go in the direction that we support or oppose, we're going to still give them a chance anyway. No, it's all just, let me push my political beliefs on these people and couch it under the guise of caring about them as human beings. And we have already established before, it's all just optics and theatrics. Once that kid comes out of that stomach, this same senator, along with the rest of her colleagues in the GOP, are going to try and cut SNAP funding, defund any of the public schools it could go to, so it has to pay for these private schools that are in many cases overcharging students. Just you're going to see that once the kid is born, they completely turn their back on it from the second it comes out the stomach. Or excuse me, well, I'm not going to say that, out of the triangle. But it's just, it's sad that, like, she's a really, I guess, a really good actress, right? Like, her State of the Union speech was despised and laughed at by everybody, and that's even mentioned in that article. But if you were to just watch that video, you would go, yeah, she seems to really care about doing something relating to this high maternity mortality rate, right? All these mothers that are passing away as a result of complications from pregnancies. No. Just more right-wing attempts to control people and even collect your data. Like, I don't even want to imagine if pregnancy.gov is up and running. They're like, well, we're totally not using your data for any purposes that would come back to bite you or to get revenge on you. None whatsoever. So let me pretend that I've exercised bipartisanship and I'm concerned about mothers as I peddle more pro taking away your rights, data collecting, infringing crap. All I can say is, I hope nobody falls for the scam that she just tried to put out, because there are some people, especially a lot of, like, the old, because most voters tend to be older, who are not going to go and watch that video and then see an article break down, like, what the problems with her proposal are. And it all is grandstanding, because she knows that in a Congress where the Democrats control the Senate, it's not going to pass there. And even if the Republicans are able to narrowly get it through the House, it'll get vetoed by, or rather, it will just stall in the Senate, or get vetoed by Biden, even if you were somehow magically able to get some Democrats to back it. So it's just an overreach that, honestly, I think is part of a test run with for her, where she's trying to, like, see how much further right can I go on this issue Let me introduce some site that I use to peddle my narrative. Let's see if I can crack down on you in the digital age. I don't think it's gonna work out too well for her. I believe that the Democrats are most likely going to keep the Senate this year. I don't know if they'll expand the majority, but I think they'll narrowly keep it, and they're definitely going to win the House back this year. So at the very least, we'll see Britt's abortion-related bill get aborted, and that'll be a nice victory for those of us that actually, you know, don't want to infringe our views upon other people.